Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I'm the guy that's been running for president several times since Bill Clinton. And the reason I'm constantly running is because there hasn't been a president in my lifetime that was worth the salt that goes in the bread. Based upon what I have been given as far as what a true representative of life, that means all that outside of you and that with you, is just magnificent. And I'm aware of that. Most people aren't. They dream of it. I have plans. So I run for office as President of the United States. I ran against Barack Obama, everybody. And I always run as a write-in. I run as a write-in because the programs that I offer, you can't buy them. And also, the normal way is for the candidates to be ripped off by so much money being required in order to get your message out. And the way to get that real money is to get it from the people who really got it, who got that big money, people who want to exploit you and have you work against your people because it is their money, really, that put you before the people so you can get their vote. And then you go in and do all that ugly stuff that rich people want done to keep the rest of us poor so they can always be rich and think they got superior power over us. Well, I've been aware of this for quite some time, and I've come to you, ladies and gentlemen. In the beginning, I told you that I'm not some really smooth, cool guy. I'm a knucklehead. I've been in trouble, and I don't offer no apology for it. I know what got me in trouble, and I know what will keep me out of trouble, and I know what will keep you out of trouble. So let me just share a couple of things with you, ladies and gentlemen. Because the truth of the matter is, I have, let's see, one record I noticed, because I went back on, to check my record to see what my history is. I went on the internet, see what I can find out about myself. And they got a couple of things out there. They got out there in 2021, should I say 21. In February, I was driving without a license, speeding on the highway without a license. Got a ticket for it. Then I have a fraud unemployment. Yes, I frauded unemployment. Unemployment is when you have a job. The job is temporarily suspended for vacation or no service during a period of time, so you can receive unemployment compensation to help you to get back to work. And a couple of times, not a couple of times, but once, I decided to keep on receiving it even when I wasn't entitled, maybe for a couple of payments. And I did it intentionally. Well, I don't want you to think that I didn't need the money. I definitely needed the money, but that's not my real motivation to do it. It was part of it. The other part is that as I was running for president, I worked at Bethel College at this time. In fact, I was a dishwasher. Now, all of the things I've done in my life, I could find myself doing nothing more than washing dishes at Bethel College for a contractor by the name of Marriott. I think I was making about $6 an hour. Now, can you imagine making $6 an hour? Well, there was a point in time when I wasn't making a cent, but I needed to help out. Things got so tight, so I could find myself washing dishes. It's nothing that people would try to take me to task on. Who wants to go out and wash dishes? Me. And so I took a couple of checks, but the other motivation was that as I was running for president, there were other people that worked for Marriott, cooks, people that do various jobs, and we were all making poor money. I remember my first raise I got, it was a dime, 10 cents. But I was glad to get that 10 cents and I didn't complain. The only thing I did, I used that to motivate me to tell the American people, even out there on that college campus, that I wanted to be president. And I wasn't asking for you to put my name on no ballot. to make sure that my name was on the ballot. I wanted the word to spread all across this country that there was a man who knew what Jesus would want. I said Jesus because in the Bible they try to make it seem like Jesus was such a lover. They always make it seem like Jesus was such a lover. So if Jesus is such a lover, I want to show you how Jesus will love you in this country. And I wanted you to say you believed in Jesus and trusted Jesus and put your faith behind Jesus. And you don't need anybody. If my name is not on the ballot, go to the polls and write in Eddie Marcus. Write in Eddie Marcus. Why? Because Eddie Marcus offers to us what Jesus promised us. And he's not, we don't have to worry about if he's going to do it because he's telling us that we got to be engaged in the process. We can't lose. That's what I was hoping you would say. Well, you didn't. And each time I would come again, come again, come again. And there was another time that I worked for a company. This was before the, I believe, yeah. Well, maybe, no, it was maybe after the dishwashing. One of the two, I don't know. I was working for Rothschild's property management. It was a little bit, paid a little bit more money. And but it was during the 90s, man. Drugs were heavy. People were doing all the stuff that they did trying to survive. It was rough in the poor community, ladies and gentlemen. People hustled. And out of all of the hustling they were doing, they couldn't touch the hustling that the rich were doing. The rich was hustling so fast that these guys out there on the streets trying to hustle wouldn't. And so it became very important to me that I become president, that the people knew the message. Now, when I say become president, I'm talking about as the will of the people. Not because I want to be, but because the will of the people. The people heard what the program was about, and they wanted it. So I wanted to make sure the message got out there. So what I did, in property management, I had one of the jobs required me receiving funds for rents, and then I do what I'm supposed to do with them. I decided to take some of the funds for a period of time. I couldn't get there. I never ride. It's okay. They close at 8 o'clock. They told me they couldn't give it to me, so I got to go to get somebody. I asked the pharmacist. The pharmacist, because the only information they got comes from over here, and they had sent a request over there, and they had denied it. So the pharmacy can't release it until somebody else authorized the release. So I was over here at Health Partners, and they told me I had to. Well, they closed. I couldn't really get any information. I was going over there trying to get a pill. I don't need me. I'm not going to Atlanta. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. You know, I just got through telling you about some medication I got to get, so I just been reminded that this medication. But let me see. You just went back inside. Let me take a few more minutes to tell you this fraud thing. That working with Rothschild, I took a few $1,000s, and I didn't give it to Rothschild. I didn't do it all at once. I would do a few here, few there, few there, that added up. And when people asked, or when I went, nobody caught me. And it was no, they say, I heard somewhere on a piece of paper that said swindle. I don't know what swindle is. I called myself just taking your money, taking it. I wasn't calling you, I was just taking it. And then having taken it, I went to the boss and said I took this money, and I took it because I want to be prosecuted for taking it. And my reason for wanting to be prosecuted is that I wanted to use that as an attention getter to the people of my community, of my state, and ultimately across the globe, that what I bring to you is so important. I will do what I have just done. I can live with this just to get your attention. This is what it has taken to get your attention, so I've done it. The problem is that I didn't get the attention because the news media would not let it out. Why would you let this out? So they wouldn't let it out. So I ended up going to prison. Yes, I ended up eventually in prison. I didn't go at that moment. I went to jail for a while and put on probation. And when they stole the election with George Bush, oh man, I wrote him a letter, and they just weren't having that. So I was violated, and I went and did my time in prison. All of that because the message that I tell you about every day would eliminate your problems. But I can't get anybody to listen to it. And those who will listen, that's all they'll do, listen. They're not going to do anything because it requires change. It requires you to start acting as though you know who you are. And that hasn't happened. Anyway, I just wanted you to know that I've done these kinds of things. One other thing I did, I was very proud of when I was in the military. Ronald Reagan was president, and he was acting so crazy against poor people till I wouldn't take orders. I wouldn't take his orders and refused to accept a honorable separation from the military. I wanted a dishonorable. I wanted the world, I wanted America to know that what I offer is worth me taking a dishonorable discharge from the military just to get your attention so you can hear it. Yeah, didn't work. So I came out with an other than honorable. They didn't say dishonorable. That's what I wanted, so they said other than honorable. Anyway, you have to go through that kind of stuff. There's probably a couple of things I've done. I mean, I've been thrown out of governors' offices. And I've been thrown out of police stations, out on the streets. Man, I've been through some stuff just trying to tell you that God is real and I'm not lying, but you being bullshitted. Anyway, I just thought I'd take a moment and share these things with you. I have couple of judgments against me, and they have been paid. They were very small. I think one was $478, one was $198. And all of these things happen just like that. I could spend a little bit more time, but I'm not. I just wanted you to know that I'm not your polished, smooth, cool dude. I've done my evil. I know evil, and I know why people commit evil, and I know what will stop it. And this is why I still come to you. I'm not asking you to make me president. All I want you to know is what is required in order for you to live that life you'll be praying for. And if you decide to accept that, it doesn't matter who's president, because nobody's boss over you but God. And you as an individual, collectively with all the rest of the individuals, are serving God. And so there's no problem there. Why? Because you're doing unto others as you'd have others do unto you. This is how you receive the blessings that have been designed for you, because you're not trying to be God. You're just trying to be a part of that which God has designed. And that makes life right for you. I think I'll leave that, ladies and gentlemen, run over to this urgent care and see if I can pick up some medication. And I'll talk to you later.